Welcome to the Superabound podcast, where vision-led entrepreneurs learn to build a generous business without sacrificing what matters most. You are listening to episode 338, the 5-minute practice that changes everything. Tell us all about it, Erin. What's going to change everything with five
I know
minutes?
that's kind of a bold claim
It's
to
awesome.
start with. We don't normally entitle our podcast such wild sounding, outlandish sounding things, but really what I have been noticing is when I am feeling like the world is super heavy and things are really hard, whether it's personally or professionally or just globally, which I think a lot of us can probably relate to these days. Um, I always feel like I want to do something that is not only supportive to me and to my energy, but something that will be beneficial collectively. And when I was thinking about that recently, um, I got a little like interior poke saying, you already have this. Like, this is a tool that you use with your clients all the time. It is one that we have written about a lot in our book, Superbound, Live the Life the Universe is Dreaming for You. And that is the heal static process.
And if you've heard about it, we're just going to touch on it because it is so profound. And if you haven't heard about it, welcome. It is amazing. The basic idea is that if you want to be doing something, if you want to make a change in the world or achieve something, you need to be lined up behind that. You need to be tuned in to that channel, so to speak. And sometimes we're not always tuned in.
Well, I would say not only sometimes are we not always tuned in, but in fact, if you think about how radio works, an old-timey radio, when you go from station to station, there is always a period of static. It's that fuzzy, crackly white noise that exists at any space between two very clear points of perception. And I remember early on when I started coaching people, a lot of times there was kind of this idea in the mindset world that I know exists still. It doesn't exist in my coaching practice, but it exists in the mindset world that, we can think helpful thoughts or we can think bad thoughts, terrible thoughts. And there's this hierarchy of thinking that to have a healthy mindset, that you're always going to be in like a positive thinking, affirmation kind of place. But that's actually not true. A healthy mindset is one that is ultimately supporting you to achieve what you want to achieve. And it's healthy when there are natural fluctuations, when you are sad about things that are sad, if you are afraid of things you've never done before. These are all like natural, normal human emotions. But when we stay stuck between those two clear frequencies, that is what we call static.
And most of the time, our relationship to that static is to just avoid it, suppress it, deny it, pretend it doesn't exist. Speaking as a man, that is often the relationship to it. It's like feelings. I have no feel. I have none of those. That'd make me weak. But acknowledging what that feeling state is, acknowledging the heaviness, acknowledging the sadness, whatever it is, allows you to actually become more of yourself, allow you to drop into yourself. And it's only then that you can actually make a shift, that you can gain the wisdom from that feeling. Like the treasure from doing that is massive. And most of the time we're taught to just skip over it.
Yeah. And not only are we like taught to skip over it or avoid it or push past it, like all of that stuff is true. But unfortunately, your static exists for a reason. And if you are never dealing with it, if you're never going through it, you're also missing the wisdom that could be in there for you. Um, because what happens, we work with a lot of business owners and leaders. What happens is maybe they step out of their comfort zone in order to grow, in order to do something that really is calling to them, that's very visionary. But then they step into the state where it is unknown, there is risk, there is fear. They don't have, a bunch of people behind them saying, yeah, you got this, you can do it. And they step out and they find themselves in that static. But because it's so uncomfortable, they jump right back into the known. They stay maybe, smaller in their business when they really wanted to expand. So I think about static as maybe it is not an external obstacle on the path to your dreams, but it is a very serious inner obstacle for most of us because we don't know how to go through that discomfort in a way that is supportive. And as I said, we've done podcasts about this, we've done written articles, blog posts, books. We're not going to go through the heal static process today because we've done that. You can find it in detail in our book. But what we are going to do is invite you to. I kind of created a little 30-day, I don't want to call it a challenge. It's a
It's a
30-day
journey.
journey
Yeah.
to actually working with this tool consistently every day for 30 days so that you can feel the impact of putting a little bit of attention on your static every day for 30 days. Um, I've, I've heard from a lot of people who really enjoyed our book, but I can tell they aren't using this tool. And I think it's one of the most powerful tools that we have for the world. It is something I will be very proud of when I die to have given to the world this process because I think it really changes the relationship that many of us have with tough feelings, unhelpful thoughts. Like in 30 days, if you did this practice, if you took 5 minutes to follow the practice with us or on your own. I'm going to have a meditation available that you can kind of meditate your way through the process. And I'm going to have some written prompts so you can write through the process. But if you do that every day for 30 days, I would be shocked if you didn't have a different relationship with yourself, if you didn't have a different relationship with discomfort. Um, you can tell me if nothing at all changed, but I'm going to be very shocked.
Because the fact is, the deeper level of our being is that emotional level. And if you're not learning how to tune into it, to work with it, to gain its wisdom, you're missing this huge engine for your own impact in the world. And so that's really what this 30-day journey is about, is helping you connect with that engine to be more at home with yourself and to be more effective in the world. And so we would love for you to join us. The doors are wide open. It's free. The address to join is besuperabound.com/static. And that's where you can learn all about it and get started with the journey.
Yeah, it was really important that this be totally accessible in every possible way because I don't want you to have any excuses for putting this off. So I'm going to promise you that it takes 5 minutes a day. Um, there's no cost at all. Even if you haven't read the book, it would be great if you have the means to read the book and the time to read the book. That's great. But even if you can't do that right now, this process will support you. It will help you. We're going to do it together. I'm going to be guiding you every step of the way. Um, and it will change everything because when you are no longer afraid of discomfort in your mind or emotionally, when you are willing to listen to what you're really trying to tell yourself, like pain is such a good way of getting our attention. I've shared before, when I had a chronic pain issue, I was very aware of my body. I probably ended up taking better care of myself through that recovery than I had ever taken care of myself before. Like it was just it was so much more gentle. And so sometimes in order to get our attention, there is discomfort, there's hard emotions, there's, patterns that we don't like. When you start to relate to that in a different way, I'm always saying you don't listen deeply to something if you're not expecting to hear something important. And we are going to, over this month of October, this is October 2025, we are going to listen inwardly at a very deep level, maybe at a level you have never done it before.
So if that sounds exciting to you,
Or even if it sounds terrible,
even a little scary, you
you
should
should
join
still
us.
do it. You should
Those are all
still do it.
signs. Any kind of
Mhm.
emotional response to that possibility
Yeah.
means you'll probably get something very powerful from
Yeah.
it, which is the reason that we're doing it. So head on over to besuperabound.com/static and we'll get started very soon here.
Thanks, everybody. And let's heal your static. Let's work with it. Let's get you to that next clear frequency with as little internal drama and extra suffering
Yeah.
as possible. Because once you do this, it will quite literally change your life. And I can't say enough about it. You just have to join us to come and find out for yourself.
See you there.